Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home in this crazy market, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions whatsoever, we have people standing by to answer them right now. All you need to do is call the phone number on the screen, 407-205-0400. If you want to start that house hunt, you're going to need that pre-approval letter. Dallas Lehman is here with You Have Mortgage, standing by at the same phone number, 407-205-0400. Great show for you this Saturday. You will not want to miss a single minute. But first, the opening statement. Today's opening statement is brought to you by my good friends at IQ Power Solar. As you know, I went solar last year, saved $10,000 in taxes. Yes, $10,000, and another $6,000 on my monthly electricity bill. Best financial decision I've made in a decade, I would say. Stephen Bader, how did we do it? Moving is good. Moving is healthy, especially in a pandemic. We've been in this rut for the longest time. Someone was telling me the other day, I need a vacation to look forward to. I need something to look forward to. I felt like I've been in a rut. What about moving? I think moving can be one of the most healthy things that we do when we get in a rut. Think about it. Right now, you have equity. You might have moved back in 2010, 11, 12. You didn't have equity. You had to do a short sale. Now, I almost guarantee you have equity to where moving is an option. Another thing, think about those drawers in the kitchen, just full of Chinese food menus and chopsticks, all sorts of things that make you crazy. Why do you think we do spring cleaning or talk about doing spring cleaning when we don't actually do it? It's because we want some freshness. We want a fresh start. That is another thing that moving can do, is give you just a full, fresh, clean start, something to look for. Get all of the stuff cleaned out. Get a fresh start in life. I think moving is great, but you say, Justin, I can't move right now because the housing prices have gone up so much. I disagree. I think when we buy a home, we are not buying a house, whether it's $300,000 or $400,000. I think we're buying a payment. We're buying a monthly payment. Look on your screen right now. This is a great example of why I believe you can move, even in a market that might be a little bit hot and competitive. This house here, $350,000 house. As $350,000 house now at a rate of 2.5, your payment is $1,106 per month. If the house was $300,000 in a regular market when a rate was 4.5%, which is still, quite honestly, guys, a pretty good rate, $1,216. Your payment is more for a house that was worth less. So during this pandemic time, when we are in a little bit of a rut, we need some life change. I think moving can be incredibly healthy. And I'm going to tell you how you can do that by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate, I ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the program, happy to welcome back Megan Morris. How are you, Megan? Good to see you again.
Very well.
I was trying to think of all the businesses you own, so I didn't even get to your name because you have so many great real estate businesses. Welcome back. How are you? And first-time visitor from Coldwell Banker up in the Seminole County area, it is Frank Benevento. How are you, sir? Great.
Very good,
Welcome,
thank you.
welcome. Good to see you. I've been following your career for the last few years, too. It seems like you're doing great up in Seminole County. Let's just start with staging right now, because you own a staging company. How do I know when I'm selling my house if I really should stage my house for sale?
Well, every house benefits from staging, whether it's an occupied home or an empty one. People feel more of a sense of urgency when they see a home as furnished, whether it's just rearranged with what you already have to a better traffic flow, or just taking an empty house and adding furniture. I think a lot of people think that there's an emergency situation when they see it empty.
Frank, let me ask you this, because the opening statement was all about fresh start and moving. Do you agree with what I'm saying at all? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Because I do feel that people have been in a rut over the last year and a half, whether maybe you've been out of a job, maybe you've been kind of working harder than normal trying to get through this pandemic. Don't you think that at times moving can be a fresh start?
Absolutely. So for 2020, just to give you a little insight on my own business, and what I've seen is my business is actually up 70%, which is pretty incredible. So
Yeah.
I feel as though Central Florida is actually getting rediscovered. We've got great value here. We've got phenomenal subdivisions. We have a fabulous climate for interest rates. So everything is just right to make a move. There's no reason to wait.
What about kids? So Megan, oh, I have kids. I'm not going to uproot my kids. Well, we're not moving to Connecticut. We're moving to a new neighborhood. Maybe we want to upsize, maybe downsize. Maybe the pandemic has taught us we need different things that we don't have in the current house. An office, a bigger office. I hear people asking for bigger offices. What about from a kid's perspective? Is moving bad? I mean, we're just moving a couple of neighborhoods away.
Well, I think it's how you present it to the kids. It's a new, you look at it as an adventure, something new and exciting. And you're right. I think with homeschooling and the way that people are teaching a lot, I do think that having a home that's more conducive to that, they would like that. They would enjoy it.
But moving is such a pain. I don't want to go down to the U-Haul store and buy, I don't know, $12 boxes or whatever. I mean, that's what Megan's Moving really does, is you make the actual process of moving easier for me, I would say.
Right.
What part of the moving do I do? What part of the moving do you do at Megan's Moving?
Well, we'd like to help you with any aspect of it, but obviously we start usually with decluttering and packing away those things that you know you want to bring to your next house, and then helping you organize what gets donated, what doesn't go with you. And it's hard to do that in your own home sometimes. It helps to have somebody else help you through the process.
I totally agree. So let me just be clear about my question. Do I have to put the stuff in the box myself, or do you guys do it?
We should do it.
Okay, so it's on you. I think that I do think that there are times where we might see a big truck from one of these big box moving stores, and it says $39.99 one way, but then by the time you get your bill, it's not $39.99, and I think that people are getting lulled into this whole, well, I'm just going to rent this truck for $39.99 and buy the beer and the pizza and with some friends and family, and I'll move that way. It can still be an expensive process going that way as opposed to hiring a professional mover like you, can't it?
Right. It's difficult to navigate because it's set up in a way that there's a lot of add-ons.
Yeah, exactly.
We try to be as transparent as possible so you can see what it'll cost, and really for the professionalism. I mean, there's these people have been doing it for years. These movers are very well trained, so it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and you feel comfortable with knowing they know what they're doing.
I know that if you look around your house right now, there are parts of your house that you don't like, that you wish you can change. And I think one of the beautiful parts about moving is that fresh start, but also in that next house that you're looking for, you're going to have a list because you're not in a big hurry. You're not moving to North Carolina. You're just trying to upsize, downsize, or find a house that is more tailored for you and your family. So you can be a little bit more picky. You can have a list that are non-starters if this new house doesn't have a big office, or it doesn't have a pool, or has a pool sometimes. You know exactly what you're looking for. And I think in this market where, yes, you can sell high, the market is up. But also, when you buy your new house, yes, you're paying a little bit more. But with the interest rates at 2.5%, 2.2%, I think it's a terrific time to move. But if you're going to do it that way, Frank, you need to buy a house and you don't want to rent, or excuse me, you're going to sell your house and buy a house kind of at the same time. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a coordinating issue, quite honestly, and I run into that all the time. And I have people that want to list their home, and some of them say, well, where am I going to go? So that is a little bit of a balancing act, but we're able to coordinate a closing with also a simultaneously purchase closing also. So we can do that.
How long do you think we're going to stay in this hot seller's market, so to speak?
Right now, it seems to be, I don't see any end in sight just yet. Yeah.
I totally agree, which is a little bit shocking. I mean, if we were doing the show a year ago, right when the pandemic was beginning, would you have predicted what we're seeing now, or what?
No, I never would have seen this coming.
So Megan, you have a moving company, a staging company, but you also have this new thing going on that I find really interesting, which is more of a storage concept. Tell me about this.
Yes, it's called Units, and what we do is we bring in a storage unit, bring it up to your driveway. It can also be moved on sand, on driveways. It's very versatile what kind of surface it can go on. And you can start packing away all those things you need to declutter your house from and get your house ready for being show ready. So it's a great way to get your house in perfect condition, or if you're getting ready for a move, to start packing things away.
Don't you think that people do get sick of the clutter in their house? And you hear the spring cleaning concept all the time, but I've never seen anyone actually do it. Yeah, it's spring. We're going to clean our house. We're going to do a deep clean. I'm like, wow, I don't see you cleaning at all. I mean, it's a great idea, but it certainly doesn't happen. We talk about it in my house a lot,
Right, yes.
but we haven't ever done it actually. But moving is a way to force you to spring clean in a lot of ways. And I mean, I just want to be clear that I think moving can be an incredibly good, healthy thing for you and your. I'm not saying run out and do it. I want to be clear that I think moving is healthy for families to get that fresh, clean start, brand new floors. And any recommendation, guys, on if I'm going to move, should I look at new construction or should I stick with an existing home? What do you think?
Well, I think there's a value to new construction also, but you're very limited because you're not going to necessarily have some of the prime areas. Things are starting to go outside the areas that people like.
Yeah.
There's some wonderful resales. That's something that you could immediately have a house, you could have a pool. So there's a little bit greater value sometimes to buying a resale. The plantation shutters are there, the window treatments are there all over, and the pool is there, and the sod and the landscaping and all the other upgrades that a lot of times builders will give you. But there is definitely a value to new construction. There is a group of people that only want that.
And speaking of real estate out there, Frank Benevento has brought 3 awesome listings he wants to show us as well. Let's get started, actually. Let's look at Oakmont Terrace. Frank, where is this?
This is in Seminole County, located in Aliqua Lake subdivision. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath home, a little over 3,100 square feet. It is phenomenal. It is upgraded in so many ways. The floors are all upgraded throughout, porcelain floors. It has a pool. It has upgraded bathrooms, plantation shutters, as you could see, and not to mention it's more or less an entry-level price in Aliqua Lakes at $739,000.
$739,000. So I'm not great at math, but the payment on that at 2.2 is what, 2,800 something?
Yeah, right,
I mean, that's think about that. Think
Right in
about
that realm,
renting
yeah.
that house. That house renting is $4,500 a month easy. Yet with the
Yeah.
rates where they are, you can own it for under $3,000 PITI a month. So again, I've been telling everyone here that watches the show, don't get sticker shock necessarily when you see, because your whole life you'd be like, well, I'm a $300,000 house guy or a $200,000 house guy. Maybe you're not. I mean, maybe you're a $500,000 house guy when you look at these new rates, or maybe you're a $700,000 house family. Now, if you really do the math and look at the rates, leads me another question for both of you, actually. This is Zillow. I want to sell my house, and Zillow said it's worth this. How accurate do you think Zillow is? Megan, what do you think?
Well, I will leave that to the expert.
Right. It's inconsistent. The problem with Zillow is they don't know what's inside the house.
Yeah.
So they're just speculating and they're going through analytics and looking at some of the surrounding homes. So occasionally they can be accurate, quite honestly. They used to be very well off the mark, truthfully. But right now they can have some validity. But there's nothing like just going in person and giving a regular CMA on a house.
I think what Frank's saying is if you are thinking about selling and you'd like to know what your house really is worth, I think the thing to do is call Frank now. And he'll do a CMA, a certified market analysis. He'll charge you nothing for it. 407-205-0400. House number 2 for Frank here. Morningside. Where is this?
In Mount Dora.
Mount Dora. Lake
So
County, growing
this is
area.
an amazing house. This house is 81 years old, built in 1940.
Looks like it was built in 2020. I mean, it
Well,
looks brand new. Man.
all the interior, all of the AC, the HVAC, the roof, the plumbing, every single thing. Plus, it had is added on wing with a master suite. It's a little over, it's about 6,100 square feet, a little bit underneath that, right on Lake Gertrude, 2 acres. It actually has a basement with Pecky cypress wood. It is amazing because it has the charm of Tara from Gone with the Wind, but yet the technology for 2020.
Unbelievable.
So
That's
the
a beautiful
sellers
home.
loaded it up with
And what is the price point on this one?
$1,999,000.
And what is Lake County? What's going on in Lake County? It's a growing area, I think, big time.
Well, I
right?
just did a sale there that's $2 million. So Lake County's really starting to. People love some of those charming Mount Dora type cities. There's a group of people that love that. In particular, people from the Northeast love it.
Yeah, that house looks amazing. Though.
But this house is absolutely amazing. Also, the other thing with this house is they've kept the flooring so that the floors are like 80 years old, 81 years old, but they've buffed them up and everything. And they're phenomenal. It is a very stately looking home.
What a beautiful home. If you'd like to see this home or any home this weekend, 407-205-0400. And finally, Oak Knoll. Where is this?
Okay, Oak Knoll is in Lake Mary off a subdivision called Summer Oaks, Frank Lloyd Wright inspired type home. That is an amazing house. I can honestly tell you,
Where is this exactly? I'm sorry.
Lake Mary, right
Okay.
behind Heathrow, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the
Summer
area.
Oaks, 4 acres. You have one. You have one
4
of the
acres?
lakes. That's right. You have a lake that you own behind the house, which is part of those 4 acres.
Wow.
It is astounding. It is one of the nicest homes I've ever seen around here, really, as far as not new construction. It's built in 2005. And it also has a guest house, right, at 4,000 square feet. Just unbelievable.
What is the price point on this?
This one is 1.2.
And I realize that you start to hear $1 million, you say, there's no way I can afford that. Do the math. I mean, really, let's look at your net income, or really look at your gross income and see what the payment is at these new interest rates to see what you can afford. Now, that's some kind of house for 1.2.
Yeah, it really is. And you cannot reproduce it. Just think about the land alone and to get this type of contemporary type of house. I can't imagine what it would be.
That's crazy. If you'd like to see any of these properties right now, I will hook you up with Frank Benevento, 407-205-0400. And Megan, let's say I want to buy one of these houses, and it is time to move into one of those houses. You're the person I call with Megan's Moving. What kind of insurance do you have, though? Because people come to me all the time and they're, oh, my moving company, or the box broke and broke my favorite vase. I'm like, oh, how much did you pay for the vase? They're like, well, it's $10 at TJ Maxx. But, it meant something to them, I guess. How do I know my mover is going to make sure that everything is intact?
Yeah, we are bonded and insured, so we do take the extra precaution to limit the amount of damages. We pad everything. We use extra packing materials because I think the main part is in how it's packed.
Do you think there's a certain square footage where you do it yourself versus call you? Is there, okay, it's a 700 square foot apartment. Do I do that myself or do I call you for that? Where's the line?
Well, I guess that's just how much time you have available. I mean, there's a lot of people that they might have a small apartment, but they're very busy working professionals, and they just need somebody else to take care of it for them. They don't have the time. So I guess it just depends on your time constraints.
And let's go back to staging for a minute. I know that you're one of the most well-known stagers, really, in the United States, I guess. Staging, it's important. I find that it's important because I think that when someone comes through a house that's totally empty, it's very hard for at least some people to envision what that house looks like with the nice furniture there. What sort of price am I paying as a seller to stage my home? And then second part, can I expect to really increase the value of my house by staging it?
Yes, there's a lot of studies that do show a connection to how much more they can expect. Sometimes around 20% more.
Wow.
There's a lot of different studies that show that. Most rooms are about $200 per room per month to rent the furniture. So it's not a big price point
Right.
for the value you get for it. And like you said, an empty home is really difficult to navigate. It doesn't show as well on the MLS. People get confused with it's just one empty room after another, but when they see the furniture in it, it makes sense. Like, oh, that's the living room, that's the dining room. Now I see, now I can understand the traffic flow better. And there's a lot of people that are buying virtually. So when they can see furniture in it, I think it really helps them navigate the system better.
And
100%.
Yeah, I totally agree too. And if you wonder how good of a stager she really is, maybe call some of the biggest developers in America who, when they're developing neighborhoods, who do they call to stage their houses before you walk in? You, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's a pretty good compliment, you must say.
Well, thank you.
Excellent job. Megan Morse, thank you for being here. Can you stick around for the Real Estate Roundtable?
Of course.
Frank Benevento, nice to meet you, buddy. Can you stick around for a moment?
I certainly can.
Awesome. And without further ado, it is time for your portion of the program. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable. Each Saturday, I answer your questions from throughout the week. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page. You have real estate. Ask me a question right there, and I just might answer it next week here on the TV show. All right, let's go to John here in Orlando. How much do I need to budget for moving expenses? That's probably for you, Megan. Tough question, I guess, but how much is it going to cost me to move? What do you think?
Well, you really have to get a detailed list of what's there.
Yeah.
And you really have to see it. I think it's a very difficult thing to do online. There's a lot of companies that do it online, come up with an answer. But so many times we get there and all of a sudden they forgot about the stuff in the attic. They forgot about the things in the garage.
Right.
And that's a whole nother truck load. So there's there's a whole lot to it. There's a formula to it, and leave it up to the professionals. It's pretty hard to guesstimate that on your own.
How about this for John? Does Megan's Moving do a free estimate for me?
Yes.
Can you give me an estimate at least?
Yes.
There you go, John. Please call Megan's Moving. She'll give you a free estimate on what it'll cost to move your family to that beautiful new home that you have. Sam in Tampa, I love the show. I watch on clickorlando.com. Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. How much equity from my house now should I put down on my new house? That's a good question, Frank. What do you think?
I think probably if you could do 20%,
Yeah.
that would probably be the best rule of thumb, because there has been some hiccups in the lending world in 2020, more or less in the beginning, because of COVID and the shortage of people doing underwriting and all that. So if you can do 20%, that probably would be the best, depending on your income, and there's so many other factors. But when I generate a pre-approval, I typically will like 20%.
I think if you
Presenting an offer, you come from a position of strength.
I agree. I think that if you can do 20% down, I think it makes the lending process easier. Probably puts you right at the A-level lending, so to speak. But then I also know you have family issues too. I mean, maybe you need a little cash for your reserves or whatever. I think that's an individual question, but I totally agree with Frank. If you have a nice equity piece in the house you're selling, if you can go 20% down on the new house, I think that would be absolutely ideal. And hopefully with this market, if you're selling right now, you'll have 20% and then some to put back in your bank account also. All right, thank you. Frank in Lake Mary says, does staging really work? We kind of addressed it, Megan. That's probably for you. Go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they usually sell in about half the amount of time. And for a whole lot more money. So you're leaving money on the table when you're not staging your house, when you're not making it look the best it could look.
Got it. Sarah in Claremont, should I have an open house? Frank, that's for you probably.
It depends. If it's a gated community and things like that, that can present some problems, but it certainly can't hurt. You have to attend them, and an open house could be the neighbors visiting and all that, but I don't see there's much downside to not having it. You could do an open house.
Do you ever stage an open house?
Yes.
Oh, so just like for that one day you stage
Yes.
it. I gotcha. Is an open house more, you think, for the realtor to get buyers, or is it more to really get offers on a house?
I've had we don't really do open houses because a lot of the subdivisions, these type of homes.
Let's be honest.
The
'Cause you're
sellers
the
don't
man.
want them.
Frank's the man. You're
No,
gonna
no,
hire
it's not
Frank
that.
Benevento. Come on. What do you?
It's just that, you could get 20 people in there and they're getting ideas and decorations and look at staging and all that. It is meaningful. People do it. We don't do a lot, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose.
Yeah, I know. You are the man, though. Trust me. In Seminole County, Frank's the man. Don't you think, Megan?
Yes, absolutely.
We totally agree. All right. Lastly, Sultan in Orlando. Who pays for closing cost? What do you think, Frank?
The bulk of the fees is on the seller. So you will have lender fees, obviously. But you're talking about relating to a purchase?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's probably, it looks like he's buying, saying who's paying the closing costs. That's what it looks like to
The
me.
seller. Seller pays the dock stamps, title insurance, and of course the commissions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, generally, at least in this part of Florida, most of the fees are paid by the seller. Certainly the real estate commissions, most of the title fees. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have some closing costs just because of prorations on taxes and things
Correct.
like that. But it gets a little complicated when you see that. If you hire a great realtor, they'll guide you through that. What a fun show. That was fun. It went by fast, right?
It did.
It did.
Megan Morris, if you have any questions about moving or staging, give her a call right now at 407-205-0400. Frank Benevento would love to show you some of these houses that he showed us this weekend. Beautiful homes, by the way. And honestly, I know we're in a seller's market, but I mean, for those two bigger houses, that's not really bad. I mean, those are pretty good prices on what
And
you
they are
showed me today.
astounding. I can't even get into all the details. I can get for another 30 minutes, but they are amazing.
Excellent job. Great to meet you. Hopefully we can do this again
My
soon.
pleasure.
Vivian, Dallas, Kayla, Tyson, Ryan, Philip, all the people behind the scenes today, thank you so much for giving us a great show today. Most importantly, though, thank you for joining me today. You know we love talking to you here every week. And if you have any questions whatsoever, or you want to show your house right here on the program, we would be happy to do it. Call the number on the screen. You need to get pre-approved for the house hunt this weekend. Call Dallas Lehman right now, 407-205-0400. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and we'll see you next Saturday on You Have Real Estate. Good job, guys. That was fun.